talk about the Lil B bullying situation that took place over the weekend. There's a big anti-bully movement going on and different things like that. So, first, there's several ways. This is a very deep issue because it exposes a lot. We'll talk about Lil B, how he responded to the situation. Then we're going to talk about bullying in the community. So, Lil B responded perfectly to the situation, not physically. If you're saying he should have defended himself, that's not really what I'm discussing. Should have he defended himself? Yes or no? He chose not to. That's his decision. What's even more important than defending himself was he used basically alchemy to diffuse the situation. He didn't let it control him. So he could have tried to control it physically by defending himself, or what he chose to do instead was he controlled it internally, which is really more important. I mean, you can get beat up. He wasn't hospitalized. You know what I mean? He didn't even get hurt that bad. So he controlled the situation internally, which is the only thing you can't control is yourself internally. And I think that's the major lesson to learn in this situation, is that if you're being bullied, if you're any situation, because he's a grown man, so it's not just the school thing, but we know that's what gets the most attention, the stuff in school. So I think if you're in school, it's not that you shouldn't or shouldn't fight back. It's he spoke out about it. You should speak out about it. You know what I mean? He was proactive, and he didn't let it get the best of him. He wasn't depressed. I mean, I know he's older than, he's not obviously in school anymore, but I think you understand the message I'm trying to convey here is that he internalized and used inner work, used his alchemy to handle the situation. And it looks like the situation has been diffused. So it's easy to look at it on the surface like, oh, he should have protected himself. Oh, he should have fought back. How are you just going to get beat up? How are you just going to, all of these things. You can't let people do this. You can't let people do that. And I'm not saying that people should let bullies pick on them or fight against them. But if you're going to fight back, you should still not let it control you. So he used whatever he used to not let it control him. He spoke out against it. You should tell your teachers, tell your parents, make people aware, different things like that. Now, as far as the community, we know jumping is a big issue in the black community as far as like in the inner city. So that's a form of bullying. But if you think about it, if we're the lower class, we have the least amount of money, we want to say we're the most oppressed and talk about white supremacy. On the other end, the bullying creates a white supremacist mentality, because that's what a white supremacist does. A white supremacist is a bully. A white supremacist takes advantage of the poor, takes advantage of those that can't really defend themselves, or it controls you mentally to make you think you can't defend yourself. In any attempt to defend yourself, it makes it very difficult. So when we see people getting jumped, when we see gangs and different things like that, and people, you know what I mean, these are all different forms of bullying that we learned. There's the 50th law book talks about, the 50 Cent Robert Greene book talks about street level politics and street life, and basically it's drawing a parallel between street life and corporate life. And it talks about how it's very similar. So when corporate, they're not as physical. That's really the only difference. So they can bully you with money, they can bully you with public shaming, defamation of character, big bank take little bank, different things like that. There's marketing schemes, different things like that to bully you. So when we see this going on in the rap community and just in the black community also, the rap is it's competitive, it's tough, it's masculine, it's a little bit more feminine than it used to be, but it still has a masculine kind of essence. So when we see bullying being taking place, even in the rap community, it's still, and rap of course stemmed from talking about the news, talking about what was going on, trying to escape poverty and oppression and talking about it. So there's always that underlying oppression that is centered. It's like, who's controlling the bully? It's not really the bully, it's who's controlling the bully. Why is the bully doing what they're doing? Because we know the bully is a victim also. So I'm not going to take up too much time. That's just my thoughts on the Lil B situation.